Hello folks, this is Johnny again, and today let's take a closer look at the Presonus Studio 68 USB audio interface. Now I've been working with it for a couple of days and I wrote down a couple of notes. Now what's weird is I actually wrote down more negative points than positive points, but bottom line, this audio interface is very good, it's very worth the money. And for me, it's a keeper. As you can see, I already put away the Scarlett interface as well as the part that I use for my DI recording. So that should tell you something. Now, I'm not going to give you a complete description of the interface. If you want to know about all the inputs and outputs and features, just go to the Presonus website, check it out for yourself. Sorry if I'm a bit lazy, but I just want to get into the meat of the thing. So this is a little bit unstructured. Let's see. First of all, the Loopback feature, which for me is very important, works very well if you are using an older driver. So the controlling program for this interface is called Universal Control, and 2.5 and upwards has a bit of a bug. When you record the Loopback, then there's a very nasty, crackly, distorted sound and it renders the recording useless. So you have to use Universal Control 2.4 or something in between 2.4 and 2.5. So definitely something to look out for. I was a little bit surprised when I first tried it out and then I had to look it up, what's the deal. And then I found out in some forum, use 2.4, not 2.5. But now it works perfectly fine and I absolutely love working with this thing for upcoming tutorials. The mic preamps are very solid from what I can tell. They definitely don't give me the trouble that I had with the Scarlett. The latency of this thing is also very fine. I can definitely work with it when I record my guitars. And of course, what's also neat are the meters in here for the inputs and the main output. It looks cool. It's rather just a gimmick. You don't really need it. You could monitor your levels also in your DAW. But it definitely looks nice, you know? And when something looks nice, you also kind of have more of a motivation to also get to work with it. The eye quality is also the next point that's very important for me. Let's just listen really quick to a comparison I made between the DI recorded with the pod and the DI recorded with this interface. So as you can hear, the high end is a little bit rolled off with the interface, but that's really not that big of a deal. Overall, the quality is still pretty good. Nothing is smearing in that lower range and low mid-range, and nothing is weirdly or nastily accentuated in that upper mid-range like it was with the Scarlett interface. First generation, again, mind you, I don't know about the second generation. But for me, personally, this is still very much usable. That little bit of roll off on the top end also kind of gives me the feeling that there is a little bit of harshness taken out from my distorted rhythm tones. Of course, for clean tones, I need to boost the high end a bit more to get it a bit more sparkly again. I just need to adjust myself a little bit and I can get by just fine. Now let's take a quick look at Universal Control. As you can see here, there is no routing features whatsoever. Now, when you are working in your DAW, that's not a problem. You can do all your routing in your DAW. But when you're just working with Windows, when you're just jamming or you just want to, play some music, then switching between different outputs is kind of a hassle. So you can't route in a way that all the audio goes through all the outputs. And then you can just manually switch between different sets of speakers if you want to do that, for example. Which means when you want to switch between the different outputs in Windows, then you need to go into your playback devices, and in here you can see you have all these different outputs as separate playback devices. Perhaps for you that's not a big deal. For me it's a little bit of a hassle, because in the evening when I just want to chill and watch some TV, I got my 2.1 little speaker system here that's also connected to output 3 and 4 of the interface. Then I actually have to switch stuff here so the sound comes out of these speakers over there instead of the monitors over here. Before, with the Scarlett interface, I could just route everything to go through all the outputs and it was no big deal. Just turn on the speakers and the sound was there. But now I have to make a few clicks extra. I mean, yeah, it's a first world problem, let's face it. But for convenience sakes, this is just a little bit of a bug for me. Also, since you can't route or pan anything directly on the interface, you may run into a bit of a trouble when you're using an external audio source like an amp modeler or a synthesizer. Because when you plug the left output of that device to one input on the interface and the right output of the device to another input on the interface, then those two inputs on the interfaces, since you can't pan them, they're going to stay centered, both of them. That means all your stereo sounds will stay mono. But again, that's only if you want to jam. When you're working inside the DAW, of course, there again, you can pan stuff and using monitoring through your DAW. But without a DAW, it's a little bit of a problem, perhaps, for you. For me, it's not a problem since I don't use an app modeler anymore. I use TH3 and everything is on the PC now. So for me, it's fine. If you're considering getting this interface, then that may be a point you want to keep in mind. And that point was made by a viewer who commented about that on my previous unboxing video of this interface. So thank you for pointing that out. I'm sorry I forgot your username. And that is it for my review about this interface. I hope I could help you and perhaps give you some pointers about whether you want to get this interface or not. For me, it's a keeper. I'm definitely looking forward to working with this some more in the future. Now, on a side note, this is also my first video using my new lapel mic here. It's just a very cheap system for 50 bucks from the in-house brand from Toman. Let me know what you think about the audio quality, if you like. I already got me a new just the microphone. The system works perfectly fine. I just got a new microphone as well, just to see if that improves stuff, because right now I have to do a lot of post-processing to make it sound anywhere near decent. In any case, now that's it for this video. I shall see you next time.